So we're super lucky to be here with Ramy today, who is a developer at Vivium Properties. And I'd love to know a little bit about your journey, about why you're a real estate developer, what excites you, what you're passionate about, and of course about your amazing projects that we truly love.
A snapshot about Vivian Properties. It started 5 years ago. It was an idea of creating beautiful homes. We wanted to offer beautiful architecture, nice designs, high quality craftsmanship, and most importantly, to foster a community that would believe in our projects and have ownership in those projects that we want to do. At the moment, we are present in two countries. The first one is Portugal and the second is Greece. At this stage, I think we have more than 10 ongoing projects. Now we have a project in Chiado, Alecrim 51.
Which we love, by the way.
We consider it one of our flagships due to its location, due to its architecture, due to the finishings, due to the story involved behind it and the history of the building. We're talking about a building that existed in the 18th century. So it's a marriage, or it's a get-together between the heritage and the modern, to give people a wonderful experience, a cultural experience living in Portugal.
So you would say that something that's important for you, you prefer to renovate and restore something that has the history rather than starting from scratch? Would you say that's your specialty as a developer?
We excel in both fronts. However, there is beauty to rehabilitation. It's deep restoration. It's even more than new development, because one, you are taking care and restoring some of the old elements that have been eroded, that have been left, or that have deteriorated through all those years, and you're making it a version better than it was.
You're giving it life again.
Yes.
Yes.
And the second aspect is adding a modern aspect to the projects we're doing, because modernity gives you comfort, it gives you insulation, gives you a better energy coefficient, and combining both, actually you're achieving a more sustainable and eco-conscious development.
What are the most important factors when developing a property? When you talk about modern, what would that be?
At the beginning, as a developer, you have choices to make and you have decisions to take. And those decisions will impact the cost and the finishings and what you're expecting from the project. We want to offer people a project that's timeless. And by bringing modern technologies to Alecrim, it's currently one of the only buildings I know in Lisbon that the structure has been reinforced with carbon fiber. So the whole building is covered with a carbon fiber mesh and the plaster. It makes the building lighter. It has better properties than adding other interventions.
What would be used, generally speaking, just so the audience understands how is it different, what you're using?
Sometimes you go for a lot of steel structures, and you can go for concrete and cement. The carbon fiber gives a lighter structure, and in one sense it's giving you more space, because if you wanted to go for other technologies, you're going to lose around 20 centimeters of the wall. But if you go for carbon fiber, you're losing perhaps 3 centimeters. It is the most expensive structural interference you can make.
But it's timeless.
It's timeless, and a lot of developers might not go there because they're not focusing on high-end and luxury.
Okay, well, let's talk a bit about luxury and high-end, because we pride you as being, if not our top developer, our top 3 developers that we work with in all of our markets. We hear a lot about developers complaining about costs and complaining about cost of materials and construction. What's your balance and how do you manage that?
It's one of our rules. We work with the best, and by that, we work with the best architects in Portugal. We work with the best project management companies.
In Portugal, so all Portuguese based?
Yes, we're a Portuguese company. We work with Portuguese suppliers. We always encourage using material in the country. It's more sustainable and it's more cost effective. And Portuguese craftsmanship, quality and material is one of the best in Europe.
Are there any other factors that you deem very important in your development, such as Alecrim, for example? What are you looking for when you're sourcing a new product?
It's a combination of things. Definitely the location, but it's also the light exposure.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a checklist that makes Lisbon magical. In my opinion, it's the light, it's the openness to the river, it's the color of the buildings, and it's the people. It's very important to study the light. When you wake up, how's the light gonna come in the bedroom? Towards the end of the day, what is the sunset experience you're taking from your rooms or from the balconies? The community, who is living around you? How can you live there? Where are the nearby schools, the restaurants, the vibe, the gyms, the fitness centers, the local bakery, the local mercado? People want to experience that. They want to be part of it. They want to feel part of the society and part of the community. A lot of the clients come from different places in the world and from Portugal. So it's a beautiful melting pot of...
So you're adapting as well to the international clientele. So you would say that your clients are more international and more catered. Are they more catered on the high-end side from what we've seen? And has that been your strategy?
We offer both. And we would like to have both in our projects because it adds a lot of cultural richness.
And that's quite rare upon some developers, and we love the fact that you're able to cater to both markets. We are now reaching the end of 2023. What do you believe is the future for 2024? Is it going to be, what segment would you put it on? And is it going to be residential, touristic, more upper high end, or on the middle range?
I think down the line, it is projects that are beautiful, very well developed, but the cost of construction is carefully measured and monitored in order to offer a product that's inclusive for everyone. Because for us developers, at the end, there's a margin you should take on your profitability.
What is that margin that you seek for?
If a 3-year project, 4-year project, you're looking at a return on your equity above that equity at around 45%. So you're aiming roughly at an annualized 15% return. Right. However, we have challenges, and the challenges is the VAT, yes, which is 23%, the 6.5 property registration tax. There's a lot of layers of taxes. The aim is to create projects, hopefully with a price per square meter would love to below 6,000.
That's your challenge, and how would be your way to face that?
If you bring the contractor from the start with the architects, like that you can set the expectations and the budget properly from the start. And source projects that don't have a complicated license.
Do you see timeline as well in your pipeline? What's the maximum time frame that you estimate per project for licensing, not even construction?
It's a complicated topic. If a project requires the DGPC and the cultural authorities to give their input, it is going to take an additional 2 more years on the licensing on average. If the project is located in a sensitive area in which you have public buildings, or it might be disruptive to the facade scenery, it's going to take some time. But on the other hand, buying a project that already has a license, in the market you're paying a very high premium for that. And that's also pushing the prices to go up, because the entry level for back like a year ago, it was close to 3,800, 4,000 euros for the built up area of a okay condition building that needs structural intervention, that needs changing of the walls, and needs all of that. So if you're taking like 4,000 and you have 2,500 construction costs, you're at 6,500 just your cost. So, but I think now a lot of the stakeholders are aware, and we're going to see the market improving, in my opinion, next year and the year after.
Regarding financing, how are you dealing with that, with the increasing interest rates and with inflation? How are you managing to get the best financing? Is it through bank debt? Is it through private equity? What's your favorite method?
We acquire in full equity the project, and we add a buffer which for the soft costs. And we get a construction loan to fund the construction fully from a bank loan.
And you're seeing that hasn't increased too much?
Thing is that in construction, you have the S-curve. So let's say a project takes 3 years. The interest is calculated on the amount of money you draw. So in the first year, you're basically drawing perhaps 20-25% of the loan. The second year, it increases. It is towards the third year or towards the end, after 70% of the project has been, is where the big invoices come, because you're doing the finishings, the kitchen, the parquet, the flooring. It's the expensive side of the project. But then you're calculating the interest over a period of 6 months. And regardless if it were 2%, 3%, It's variable, but it is not that heavy. It will be heavy on the end user when they get the mortgage because they're financing it over a period of 30, 35 years. But as for the developers, the risk is not the interest rate, it's the slowness to get the loan.
To get the loan,
So
because you're losing time.
you need to get a loan, you need the construction permit, the alvara, and this comes when you start the construction. So you have 2, 3, 4 months that you have to finance through pre-sales or through your equity, the construction, and then you get the loan from the bank, which caters for the remaining duration of the construction.
So walk us through the typical timeline of when you source a product from the beginning until completion of when it's delivered and your clients are living in it.
The theoretical timeline, 3.5 years. The realistic is being now closer to 5 years. Construction is fast. You can finish a project of around 2,000 square meters, close to 18 months. From the moment the client reserves until they move, it's realistically 2 years. Because when you finish the project and you've done it and you've finished it very well, you need to wait for the residential license from the Camera. And it's taking time. It's taking 3-4 months to receive it.
Now, with that being said, how annoying is it for you when clients from agencies come in and they decide to change all of the layout? How difficult is it and how flexible can you be as a developer so that our audience understands the difficulties of a developer when changing the whole project for one unit in an entire building?
That's a beautiful question, Alexandra. The key is to communicate and set expectations from the start. People who are buying homes, they're passionate. They're putting a lot of their savings, a lot of their hard-earned money into it. They're excited for that phase, and we're here to set the expectations. We accept a lot of the feedback and we cater for a lot of the designs for the clients. They know that there's gonna come a stage before the mid stage of construction in which we cannot introduce changes. Some of these changes we cannot introduce. It is for their benefit because it's going to require an amendment to the license, and that might take quite some time. So it will delay their moving into the project.
And thus from everyone else as well.
Yes.
Now, a more difficult question. We've been hearing a lot about the NHR, which is stopping here in Portugal. Golden Visa has also stopped. How do you foresee the market? Explain to us a little bit of your vision of both challenges and opportunities.
Understanding the data allows you to react and allows you to position yourself in a safe way. A safe developer leads to safer clients. There's no good news and bad news. There's how you adapt and how you read the market and how you take decisions. So if you take a decision and you understand that, okay, there was a certain market demand that might still be there, but the supply might be different. As a developer, we might look into other opportunities and other segments in the market. Portugal.
Do you still love it?
I love it. It's a country that gave me a lot. I love my friends here. I love the people. It's a conscious place. With everything that's happening around the world, Portugal will keep attracting and Portugal will keep on improving due to unfortunate events also from the world. It's a country that's good, that's safe, that's accepting, that ticks a lot of the boxes. And with more challenges rising in the world, Portugal looks as an even more safer place for people to move in. And also it has the potential of growing locally and the economy improving for the benefit of everyone.
Rami, thank you very much. I mean, we're here with one of our favorite, if not our favorite developer, which has amazing products, and it's been a pleasure to work with. I believe in this industry as a brokerage company, it's so important not only to believe in your products, but to believe in the developers and believe in the people behind it, because it makes a difference. It makes you want to sell. And when you really feel the passion behind developers, and it's just been truly a pleasure, and cannot wait to see these beautiful projects all come to light and have these people enjoy these beautiful homes. So thank you, Rami, so much for your time.
It was a pleasure having you, Alexandra, and thank you also for your time and for being an amazing partner in all of our journey.
Bye-bye.